Hey, Tony Gaskins here, headed back to the office, so y'all got to forgive me because I done told you I'm always looking for an opportunity to film because you just can't ever wait for the right moment. Get some of this dust off this screen. Listen to me, I did a video on Instagram talking about how as I am traveling, I go in the restroom and it's so many toilets that's not flush, and it's just full of stuff in there, not flush. And I'm like, how hard is it just to flush? Like, why do you even get up and want to see it still in there? Like, why not flush it? And it be grown men walking out without washing their hands, just using the bathroom, walking out without washing their hands, and it's just disgusting. And that stuff bleeds over into other parts of life. So that's why they say cleanliness is next to godliness. One of the things that my wife did with our sons is she gave them a skincare routine, and she helped me with a skincare routine. And it's more so than just washing your face. It's really teaching you to prioritize you. It's teaching you to love yourself. It's teaching you to clean up after yourself. It's teaching you to take care of yourself. And then another rule that we have in place is make up your bed. When you wake up in the morning, they have to make up their bed. Of course, our young son, Tatum, he has a bed that zips up. The sheet zips up, so it makes it easy for him to make up his bed. And then our oldest son, he has to make up his bed. And they brush their teeth. You know, the toothbrush has a timer on it. Of course, Tatum, he gonna struggle more than his older brother. His older brother has seen the benefits of brushing his teeth because most boys his age, teeth are not brushed well, so they gray or yellow. My son's teeth are pretty white. And because they're white, a lot of people ask him, Tony, how are your teeth so white? And so by getting that reinforcement, it make him brush his teeth more. And it's a lot of times where you skip a shower. Boys skip showers, men skip showers, women skip showers. Everybody skips showers sometimes. And of course, you have the people who never have missed a shower in their life. And we'll probably meet them in the comments in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But most people have skipped the shower, and it's just for different reasons. You didn't do much that day. You showered in the morning. You was in the house all day. They say a shower every day is not good. Somebody released a study saying that it's messing up your natural oils and skin, drying your skin out, showering every day. So people have all kind of reasons. But with boys, growing up, should never miss a shower because every single day they're playing at school, at home. Should never miss a shower. And honestly, until your son is about 10, 11, 12, 13, depending on the personality of the boy, you may have to sit in the bathroom while your son in there and make sure that he washes himself correctly. And you got to show him how to wash himself correctly, and then you got to be in there until it's really like it's a part of him, and then you got to reinforce it. You got to reinforce it, and wow, you smell good. If you know you're going to see somebody, like a family member, and they're going to hug your son, text your family member ahead of time and say, hey, you know, little Johnny showered. I made him shower, and I was in there with him, make sure he showered, and then put on his deodorant, and put them on a little, you know, spray of cologne if you wear cologne. But when you hug them, tell them that he smell real good, especially if it's like a grandma or granddaddy. You know, tell them to tell him that he smell real good. So you want to tell them that, so you reinforce it. And then the other thing with boys is you need structure. So you got to have, this is the time you do homework. This is the time you play. This is the time you shower. This is the time you go to bed. You got to have structure. That structure has to be the same. And another thing you have to do is you have to have, like my son today got a letter, my 16-year-old, he's very talkative. He has a big personality. I don't know where it comes from. It's not my personality. His mama is bubbly when you know her. If she know you and she comfortable, and you know, she'll talk. She's a little more talkative, so it must be where he get it from her, because she is pretty rambunctious at the soccer games and stuff. At the soccer games, I don't say a word. The only time I say a word is in defense. So if I got to, you know, if I'm about to have to take somebody's life or, you know, come close to it, that's the only time I speak. I don't say nothing at the soccer game to the referee, to another parent. I don't say nothing to my son unless he get beside himself, and that's only happened like twice in his 16 years of life that I done had to speak to him in the game to check him on his attitude. And so today he got a letter from the teacher saying that he was off task and being disruptive. Now, them some strong accusations right there, but she didn't give him a demerit. She said it's a warning, and it's because she thinks the class is too easy for him. It's an AP class, which is advanced placement. When he passes the test at the end, he's gonna get college credit. He's taking like 4 of them, but he's really, really extremely smart. And he has a memory that's like a encyclopedia. Like, he remembers everything. And so right now the work is easy, so he just kind of bored. But yet still, he know with me, that's not a reason to talk in class. So he just asked me for $50 because he had went out with his friends last weekend. He asked me for $50, and I gave him $50 to buy the game. He bought the game yesterday, downloaded so it'd be ready for him to play come Friday. And then he tried to log into the game today, I guess from his phone at school, because I got an email because it hooked to my email, and it was like a one-time passcode, like when you logging in from a different device or whatever. Probably was logging in to see if it downloaded. But when he get home, I have to decide on what it's gonna be. Either he lose his phone. He most likely probably lose his phone for the weekend till Monday, and then lose the privilege of playing the game, and just have to sit and just learn and understand, like, there's consequences to your actions. Like, there's no reason the teacher should ever be calling me. The teacher should never be calling me. Teacher should never be trying to, you know, reach out and have anything to say about your behavior. You know what you're supposed to do in class. You go to class, you sit down in class, and you pay attention. And when you're not working, you be quiet. Boys need structure, because without structure, it'll lead, and we need consistency, and we need to be challenged. We gotta be pushed. So you gotta push boys, meaning you gotta set goals. So, hey, I want straight A's and B's. Knowing your child, straight A's and B's. I want no demerits, is what they call it at my son's school. You know, you gotta set goals and live up to them goals. And so this is something that it's not easy to do. You know, it's hard to do, and we all gonna get it wrong to a degree. A behavior specialist, behavior scientist, they don't have to be with you to bail your son out of jail, so don't worry about what they got to talk about. You got to learn your son, and you got to put stuff in place for your son, and you got to make sure it's coming from love. The key is you got to come from love. You cannot wait till you get super angry. Like right now, I'm cool, calm, and collected, so I'm not going to discipline my son out of anger. I'm going to discipline him cool, calm, and collected. I'm going to discipline him just like this right here. Hey, son, you know, I told you I don't want no teacher having to reach out. So you had your teacher have to reach out. So when you get home, go ahead and let your friends know that you're going to be without your phone till Monday. Let the guy that you playing on Saturday that y'all been talking a lot of noise with, let them know you're going to be without your phone till Monday. And no phone, no video game, whichever one I decide on, or if I do both. And yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's not fun. Yes, it's not fair, but I don't want to be bailing my son out of prison. I don't want to be having to take care of my son when he's 25 years old and I'm still paying his rent, or he still got to live with me, or when he's 30 years old, still living with me. I don't want that. So I had to teach him responsibility, and I had to teach him that there's consequences for his actions. I got to teach him those things so that he can grow up and mature. And I also want my son, you know, to understand just the good and bad in life. So it's like, he may look at me and I may have some wine, a glass of wine or something, and he don't drink alcohol. So he'll look at that and he might be like, oh, you like drink alcohol? Like, yeah, responsibly in my house. Never seen me drunk, never seen me tipsy, none of that. And so teach him to where, yeah, you can relax and you can, you know, chill out, but you got to do so with maturity and responsibility and understanding that. Now, I'm not finna do nothing. We don't see Jesus playing with no marijuana in the Bible, but we seen him turn water into wine. So I ain't finna smoke no weed. I ain't finna be abusing no pills. I ain't about to be doing nothing crazy, watching nothing nasty on my phone. But, and I probably text him so he'll go ahead and know. Go ahead and let him know. Post school leaving, by the time school get out, yeah, lost the phone. And see, the thing about it is, last year he got in trouble a couple times. One time I got onto him. The next time I think I let him slide. But one thing my father tried to do is be consistent. Now, the thing that my parents did is they was too soft. You know, they didn't push me enough. So like with whatever I was doing, they didn't push me enough. Like they in sports, and I'm gonna give you an example of like setting goals and pushing your child, but pushing your child in love. So my dad, he did the best he could, which I say we all gonna do some things wrong, and our child will be able to tell us what they think we did wrong. Now, my dad actually could not have did that wrong. He could have done it right, because him pushing me more, my personality, it could have crushed me. It could have broke me. So maybe that was the right thing to do, because I'm kind of doing the same thing with my youngest son, Tatum, because his personality like mine. But yet we harder on him than my parents was on me. But I was looking last night, and some guys that went to the NFL, that they don't run the ball better than me. Like, I look at their highlights, I look at what they do. They don't run the ball better than me as far as their vision on the field. And I realized I would have been able to do the same thing that they was able to do, because when I looked at their stats from the NFL, my not their stats, but their measurements. So the measurements is of the man. So how fast can he run 40 yards? How high can he jump? Standing still and jumping straight in the air, his vertical. And what was another one? Standing broad jump. They measure your vertical, your broad jump, your bench press with 225 pounds on it, and stuff like that. So I'm looking at 3 guys I know that played in the NFL. One of them being Percy Harvin. If you like I think a Vikings fan, or maybe the Eagles, you know Percy Harvin. But one of them being Percy Harvin, who was pretty dominant in the NFL. Guess what? My vertical higher than his, and my broad jump higher than his. And our 40 is about the same. I can't remember if mine was a 1/10 of a second faster or vice versa. But so here it is, he in the right place, right school system, right people around him pushing him. I was dominating in football, but my parents didn't know nothing about sports. So they didn't get me around coaches. We didn't email coaches. We didn't send my highlight tape nowhere. I didn't go to camps. Like, they didn't transfer me to a different school where I could play against better competition. Like, going to college on a college football scholarship was not their goal. Like, they didn't know anything about it. And then we didn't understand like the power of like walking on at a Division I school. It's like, man, don't be pulling up looking over here with all that duct tape on that car. My goodness, you looking in here. I'm not gonna rescue nobody. I am married. I mean, oh, in here, licking lips and everything. Man, go ahead now. That car, you gotta have your life together. If I was single, you gotta have your life together. That car got too much duct tape on it. So listen, they didn't do none of that. They didn't know any of that, but it's different with me knowing and my wife knowing. So our sons, we taking him to Europe. He in camps in all throughout Europe, London, Germany, Rome, getting exposure, getting experience, stretching his mind. We doing all the ID camps, the identification camps. with the college coaches there. They scrimmaging right in front of the college coaches. Coaches taking notes. And so we doing all of that. So we gonna put him in position to where if you good enough, he gonna have the opportunity. But also we're gonna make connections and stuff like that to where he may not be good enough for a certain school, God forbid, but he may not be good enough for a certain school, but I'll reach out to the coach and we'll talk about being a walk-on if that's where he want to play at. Or he could reach out to the coach. And so that's the difference. So when I looked at that, I'm like, man, these guys, and one of the guys I looked at that played 9 years in the NFL, I didn't remember him from high school, but he remembered me. So that says something right there in itself. He came to me and was like, hey, are you the running back from All Saints Academy? And I said, yeah. He said, man, when we played y'all, I wanted to outshine you, but I didn't. He was like, I was very disappointed with myself. He was like, you broke for a 90-yard touchdown on us. For those of y'all don't watch football, 90 yards is basically the full length of the football field. And he was like, you broke for a 90-yard touchdown on us that game. And, you know, it got you probably about 150 yards. So you outshined me that day. Now, he's younger than me, rightfully so. He's younger than me. He shouldn't have outshined me. But he should have outshined me because I was playing with guys who didn't really know how to play football. And because they was like, a lot of them is trust fund kids. And so he was playing with guys that, you know, they out the mud. And so they blew us out the water, but I held my own. And that was the thing. We played good teams that blew us out, but I held my own. I got my 100+ yards. And most games 200+, and one game 300+ yards. But so imagine me being able to have a game where I rush for 320 yards, 321 yards or something like that. And if I had that structure, if I had work ethic, like if I was pushed to my limits, imagine what I could have become as far as an athlete before going into what I do today. Now, I still found a way. God still made a way and blessed me. But this is the thing, is why boys need to be challenged. Boys need structure. Boys need to be pushed. But the key is you gotta push in love. So you can't insult and then try to inspire. And that's the mistake we make. That I've made that mistake. Me and my wife have made that mistake of, you know, being hurtful and then trying to be helpful. And it doesn't work. And then we've made the mistake of not being consistent. You know, my youngest son, so I'm not just teaching like I'm an expert, I'm also teaching from experience of raising 2 boys. Like my youngest son, he's the baby, so he gets a lot of exceptions. He get a lot of exceptions. He get a lot that he get to do. But guess what? You know what? Actually, my young son, he just got in trouble this week too. So both of them gonna be grounded. Both of them gonna be grounded, and they're gonna put them on a plan together. And it's gonna be a soccer weekend. It's gonna be school work and it's gonna be soccer. And guess what? I don't care nothing about them being mad, because it's when you pay attention to people, it's people who daddy used to physically abuse them and they still love their daddy to this day. It's people who daddy wasn't there a day in their life, or their mama wasn't there a day in their life, and they still. I know a young man who just made an album, and his daddy did not raise him in the home. His daddy was in his life, but his dad wasn't in the home married to his mother and raising him in a 2-parent household. And yet he honors his father. He loves his father, everything his father taught him. I got a homeboy who dad has been in prison his entire life, and he's never once, as his quote unquote best friend for a period of his life, he's never once told me what his dad in prison for. But yet he quotes his dad from the phone conversations from prison that he done had with his dad. He'll say, my dad said. And I'm like, wow, this man is quoting his father, who, to my knowledge, he's never seen. And so I say that to say, I can't be upset, or I can't, you know, be scared to chastise my son. My son's thinking, oh, they not gonna like me no more. They gonna be mad at me. But see, this is the thing. When you allow your child to do what they want to do, and you give them so much leeway and so much freedom, then they take and they forget how to act. And so when you go to punish them, it's almost like you a stranger that's punishing them. It's almost like, who are you? What are you doing? Like, you trying me. Like, you really trying me like a baser right now. Like, get out my face. And so they take that approach because they're like, who are you and what are you doing? I don't even know you like that. And it's because, yeah, you there every day, but you babying them every day. You giving them their way every day. So now they like, don't try to come now and be, they come and they like, hey, don't try to come now and be a disciplinarian. And so that's really what they be on. They really looking at it and they like, hold on now. What's going on here? So that's all it is. So we have to get to a place to where you have structure, you have expectations and standards, expectations and standards. You have consistency and you have discipline. So what I mean by this is you can't just let them, y'all, I forget I had something in my eye. Right here talking about being hygienic. I'm like, what, do I got some cold in my eye? And so this is something we got to realize, something we got to think about. And so, this finna be, and I don't take pride in have to punish my son, but what I did just get peace in is that both of them in trouble this weekend. Because my youngest son, he gets on the phone and he'll be playing the game and he'll come to a place where he, it'll be like, buy this right here to get more power. And he be in the middle of the game and he'll choose to buy it without asking. Because he trying to build up in the game. And then that end up costing me money. And so he done broke the bank a couple times. So we finna shut that down. We're gonna go ahead and shut that down. And they finna be grounded together. And it just is what it is, because if the teacher making it up, then okay, that's something he's gonna have to take up with his teacher as a 16-year-old. He's gonna have to take that up with his teacher, but I know she ain't finna just try to make nothing up. And she reached out. She didn't reach out to me. She reached out to his mama. And so I'm gonna reach out to her. But yeah, think on this right here now. You get this video, God bless you. Listen, the baseline is love. Remember love, remember patience, remember being slow to anger, being temperate. This is where I have messed up at. Cause me being a man, like, I let stuff slide sometimes and then boom, I'm ready to snap. And so I want you to think about this and make sure, and if you have been, out of yourself and you done got a temper, you done call your child a name, call your son a name, you done customize, you done, I acted irate just out of anger because you're so frustrated, and it's really your fault because you don't have standards and structure and consistency. Then you need to go to your child, if your child can understand, which I believe, if they could understand and suffer from the pain of your anger, then they can understand your apology. You need to go to them and apologize. And I've done that with my oldest son. And I went to him and I've apologized. And let's see what that is. So I say that to say, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. And if you're on here, God bless you. Keep your head up. Keep going. And I'll see y'all Saturday in class. I'll probably get some more videos shot. Got to coach a client here in a little bit. And then coach another client after that. Sessions is coming to an end. So I'm hoping by the end of this month, all my sessions will be booked up. That's or people who not necessarily scheduled, but people who need a session. So I know it's tough times right now, and it's kind of hard. It's not really affordable for a lot of people. It's really more so a luxury. But if you know you're gonna need a session by September 30th, I'm believing God I'll be able to shut down. So I just have my clients that I got to rock with throughout the rest of the year, and then outside of that, I'm getting myself ready for 2024. But hey, but that means I have more time to shoot more videos. So what I'm doing is I'm coming back to Talks with Tony. Let me see. It's inbox at TonyGaskins.com. Inbox at TonyGaskins.com. Y'all have seen those videos before, where I'm answering videos and answering emails. I'm getting a lot of junk emails now. People pitching me stuff from hearing the video, hearing the email address, but send in your questions there. If you can't afford a coaching session at this time, send your questions in to inbox at TonyGaskins.com. But hey, God bless y'all, and we will talk soon. See you Saturday in class. If you ain't got your seat, TonyGaskinsAcademy.com, TonyGaskinsAcademy.com, TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. You'll see it's called a fourth quarter conference. It'll be a teaching and Q&A. God bless you. Talk soon.